Good evening again. I am so sorry about that. This picture seems to be a lot better, and I have been working on this issue all day and thought that I figured it out. So I wanted to use my phone. So let me get up here. I need to disconnect here. So give me a second. So we are not going to use my phone at all tonight. We are just going to be using the webcam. So I'm going to have to flip you guys around. I'm going to give you another chance to get on. And once again, welcome to my Facebook viewers. Say hello. Let me know where you're coming from. Give me the thumbs up and the hearts and share this with your friends. You know, that's the greatest honor you can give us is by sharing these videos. And if you are watching on my YouTube channel, welcome and thank you for visiting on the channel. And make sure you subscribe so that you receive all the videos that I do and every time I post something. So let's get started. I'm going to flip it around again and let's give this a try. Okay. A little bit more difficult when you can only use one source when videoing. So I'm just going to move this down. So much better, isn't it? Oh my gosh. Okay, so our tool tonight is going to be our Cling Adhesive. And if you turn to page 167 in our annual catalog, you will see the number 9. And number 9 is over here. And these are our Cling Adhesives. Now, you can try, I'm going to show you tonight how if you have our Cling mount stamps, which are our older stamps, that were our first clear stamps, they kind of looked very similar to our current stamps, except you had to push on them a little bit for them to cling. And I have an old set here, and this is the festive phrases. So with this, the idea was there's like little mini suction cups on here, and you had to hold them onto your block and push down for 10 seconds, giving it even pressure, and then it would stick. But sometimes it would still fall off. And of course, this one's not going to fall off now, no matter what I do, but it would fall off. So we do have, you can change these very easy, okay? When you buy our Cling Adhesive, they come in sheets like this, and there are, oh, what are they? Oh, they don't even say how many sheets. So there's one, let me count them. I just ordered this because I have some older sets that have phrases in them that I will not part with, and the stamps were falling off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sheets. And on these sheets, you will find that there are little, they look like strips, but they actually come in strips of 2. Okay? And just like our stamp labels, or the indexes on the current ones, this is the side that's tacky that goes onto the block, and these separate like this. So you want to separate this and just remove that, and you can just place it on the stamp, and that is going to create it to be a cling mount, so it clicks right away. So for those of you that have some of our older clear mount stamps and not the cling mount, so I'm going to do this one too. This little fella is one of my favorite images. So see how it falls off? You have to hold it and press it for 10 seconds, and then it would stick. But with these, once again, all I have to do is remove this, and I'm removing it in 2s because I feel that's really all you need for on here. I'm going to remove that strip. And oh my gosh, watch this. It sticks right away. Yeah, I know. What an aha moment, huh, you guys? Oh my gosh. So you can do that to all your clear mount stamps. But I've got even something better. I was playing with these a little bit, and how many of you still have several blocks or stamps that are on the wood blocks? Okay, I've got this set here called the Delightful Dozen. Okay, so this is a stamp set with all kinds of phrases in here for all different holidays, and they're on wood blocks. And we no longer sell these cases, and I had taken all my stamps and put them into these type of cases for my wood blocks. So what I'm going to do here is this happy birthday. Okay, I am going to need probably, I measure on here, so it's 1, 2. I can probably get away with 2 of these sections. I'm going to take them off together. Okay, just like that. I have not removed the label. So next, I'm going to place that down. Now, this is the sticky side that goes onto your block. Now, I like to see the words or the image when I'm stamping. I know a lot of people don't even label them, put the indexes on, but I am one that likes the indexes on there. I want to make sure I'm stamping my image right side up. So even though this all is not going to fit onto, let me get a scrap piece here, a paper. I should probably get my silicone mat out because I don't want it sticking to the paper. Okay, so we're going to hold that down there, and I don't care if this whole image gets stamped on here. In fact, I know it's not all going to be stamped on here. So I am just going to stamp a portion of it. Now, if you wanted to do the whole image, you would have to take more of these off. Okay, and we're going to let this dry for just a second. So that's the image that we have. I'm going to go ahead and clean my stamp because I am using Stays-On. Grab it in here. You know, and when you do this, you guys, we still sell the thin cases. We don't sell the thick cases. And everybody was bummed because most of us demonstrators use those thick cases for storing stuff. And a lot of my customers did too. So they were really upset when we stopped selling them. But this will remedy that. Okay, so got my stamp clean. So clean my stamp, close my Stays-On up because you know that's an alcohol-based ink. Now, for the most part, this should stay on there, stamped on there. But now what we need to do is we need to remove this from our block. So I'm very gently peeling it up because I do not want to damage that foam. You don't want to tear the foam. Now, this is coming off fairly easily. If yours does not come off this easily, what you can do is you can pop this in your microwave for 2 seconds. Try peeling it. If it doesn't peel, put it in for another 2 seconds. Okay, you just want it to loosen and warm up that glue a little bit. But as you can see, this one is coming off pretty good. Okay, so the happy birthday. Ooh, did not clean it very good. I'm going to have to take my Stays-On cleaner to it when I'm done. So I know that it's going to, the how old are you is up here in this section here. So what I'm going to do is very carefully remove one of the labels. Okay, I'm going to take a look at this side, and my how is right about in there. So I am just eyeballing this. Okay, this is not going to be exact. So if you are a person that wants it to be exact, my recommendation would be is to stamp it on a bunch of these and then remove the labels. So I'm going to remove this one very carefully because I don't want it stuck upon itself. Okay, we're going to put that right there. And as you see, the Y goes almost to the end, and I'm just about right on there. So I'm going to go ahead and remove these two. And once again, this does not have to cover the entire thing. Let me get this right here, line that up, and press down, okay? That is now going to stick to your stamp. It's going to take less room, so you can buy a thin case, the thin cases, and put your stamps into the thin cases. So I'm just going to take my craft scissors and trim off that label. Okay, now this will take a little bit of time to do, yes. But you know, if you're sitting there watching a movie at night, instead of dipping your hands into the popcorn, you could be working on this. So that is all set. I'm going to trim that just a little bit more because I don't want that overhanging. So then I can once again get a thin stamp case and just put this in there. Okay, so I picked a doozy of one because I can tell you that when I went to put this stamp set into this box, it only went in one way. And boy, oh boy. So instead of having a bulky case like this, I can get the thin case and put all these in there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp all these words onto a sheet of paper. It can be just copy paper, and slide it in so I know what stamp set that is. But isn't that cool? You could also, I know we can download stamp case covers also. So that is our Cling Adhesive. And I'm going to tell you guys, this is a real game changer for us. You know, those that either bought the Cling mount and aren't patient enough to wait for them to adhere to our blocks. And I'm going to show you here. So I've done 2 of them. I'm going to take these 2 out and just show you how quick and easy. I'm going to peel both of these out. You're just going to take this one off. Go ahead and, oh, not enough hands here. No, I'm just kidding. Peel this one off because that's the side that's going to stick down. Just stick that in the center and that's going to stick to my block. Let's go ahead and put that back in the case. This one, the same thing. So you know the side that you're peeling off is the side that goes onto your index directly because it's got more glue on it. Okay, so that stamp set's done. So in the few minutes we've been on here, I did this whole stamp set. And I could do that other whole stamp set too, but you know what? That's kind of boring just watching me put my stamps together, right? You know, unless we had a little party where we all got together on here and we could chat and put our stamps together. So I'm going to set this to the side. Now, I promised you a little gifting idea tonight. So I am going to grab my Simply Score tool back here. And I'm going to place it so you can see the numbers. All you need for this, okay, is a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock. Make sure there's nothing on here. You can tell I've marked my 6-inch line for something I was doing, and I have something stuck in there. There we go. Okay, so we're going to take our paper. Now, if you have a directional paper, I want you to figure out which way it's going to go because you will have a front and a back to this. You could use cardstock also, but your cardstock will be a little bit stiffer. I love doing this with 12 by 12 designer series paper because it goes so quick. So we're going to take this and we're going to score it at 1 inch. You might want to get a pencil and a paper out. So we scored it at 1 inch. We're going to score it at 5 inches, at 6 inches, at 7 inches, and 11 inches. So once again, that was 1 inch, 5 inches, 6 inches, 7 inches, and 11 inches. We're now going to turn this so our score lines are now going this way, the opposite direction. And we're going to score this one at 3.5 inches. Okay, and 8.5. So basically it is 3.5 inches from each end. And that's it on the scoring. Now, we don't even need adhesive to put this together. But I am going to decorate a little bit. So we want to turn this over, and we can decide which side you want it on. And you want to score or fold on all your score lines. Okay? And I score all in one direction to begin with. And then I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to score it, or I'm going to fold it in the other direction. I want to break down these fibers in this paper so it is easier to fold. And there. Okay, so then I'm going to turn it, and remember we scored it at 3.5 inches and 8.5 inches. Okay, so I folded those over. So the 3.5 and the 8.5, it's going to be folded over. You can use your bone folder if you want to really burnish those score lines. We are going to open it up, and we want to take the 1 inch and fold it down just like this. I'm going to flip it over and do the other side. Oh, I wish I had a glass of water. My mouth is dry tonight. Okay, and then we're going to flip these back over on themselves, just like this. Okay, now we're going to fold it in half, which should be that 6-inch line. Okay, and let's burnish those score lines really well. Okay, so we have a little rectangle, or actually a square, and I need to fold. I think I did that wrong. That's got to go in. Sorry. So this is the inside with the flaps. So we're going to fold it in half that way. Then you're going to fold over on that 5-inch and 7-inch score line. So we're going to fold it just like that. Okay, this will stay together just like this. You could put adhesive if you want to attach them together like this in the center. And we have 2 pouches. Okay, but I want to decorate this tonight. So we're going to decorate it. And I am using the die, the Pretty Pillow Box die. Remember we used that the other day. But I've cut the pillow box die out. I just want to show you how you can decorate this further with this die here. We've got that. I am going to grab my big machine because I'm not quite sure if that's going to fit through the little machine. Let's open this up. I need to get my cutting plates. I'll turn this so you can see. So I've got my cutting plate here, and I want to place this on here to make some peekaboo cutouts. I am going to use a Post-it note just because I don't want to do this twice. And we're going to place that just like that. I'm going to leave a little bit of a space at the bottom. Oh, it's about, I guess, 1/8 of an inch. And we're going to run that through our machine. Now, I did not cut the entire box out because I just wanted to use this as a flap on this bag. My idea for the bag is I am going to make some cookies, and I make some big chocolate chip cookies, and I make fudge at the holidays and give those as gifts. So I'm going to tuck some goodies in one of the pouches, and then the other pouch I am going to need to poke these out. I'm going to put a gift card. You know, I never used to like giving gift cards. However, in recent years, okay, I'm going to take a look at this. I'm going to line this up now. So I want to hold this and line it up to where I want it. And I knew I cut this a little bit longer than I intended. So I want it to end here. So I am going to take my pen and just mark this point right here and this point right here. And we're just going to cut that off. I'm going to grab my mini cutter. And I'm just going to cut a little sliver off. I don't want that showing. And I do need my light on. There we go. Got all kinds of shadows here. So that line is there, and that line is there. Just trim that off. It's just a very little bit. So now I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive, some of this liquid glue on here, not going too close to the edge. And I'm not even going to go all the way down. Just going to go right there. This is okay if it's not glued down. I'm going to take this and position that. And look, I got some glue where I shouldn't have. Let's get that off of there. Let's place this on here again. Placing it on just like we want it. And I just noticed that on my red, there's a little tab that's still there. And I have my Take Your Pick tool packed with some plies for a class for tomorrow. So let me just grab my paper snips. And isn't that cute? Okay, so on the fold line where it's cut off, or the score line, we are going to go ahead and burnish that well. Then I am going to bring in my paper trimmer. I could do the Simply Score tool if I wanted. And I am going to line that up to the, let me see, 1, 2, 3/8 line is about where we're at. So 1/2 inch line. So we're going to line it up on the 1/2 inch. So where I cut it, and I'm just going to score it again. Okay, going back and forth a couple times so I make sure I have a nice score line. So we have that score line, and then the second one that is right next to it. And I just wanted to make sure that when I adhere this, the top of this has a little bit of bulk. So now this is where I said you could tape this. And I am going to go ahead and use some tear and tape. And I am just going to tape this just a little bit right here. And tape it on the other side, so it doesn't keep flapping open. Oh, if I had known I needed my Take Your Pick tool tonight. Oh, you know what? I can honestly say, I don't think I ever craft anymore without my Take Your Pick tool. I think that that is a tool, just like your paper snips, that you need with you at all times. Okay, so we have that. Like I said, we could adhere these together, and I think for this one today, I am going to. So I am going to take some tear and tape and put it down the middle. Get this right here, and I'm just going to attach that, burnish it real good. And lift it up, fold it, and go ahead and give it a good burnish. Now, if you can't give it enough pressure with your bone folder, use a stamping block. You just use something that doesn't have color. Okay, so what's happened here is we've created this little bag with 2 pouches, right? Don't pull too hard. Okay, and now we're going to adhere this to the top. So once again, I'm going to use some tear and tape to adhere it because I want it really good. Now you could use your liquid glue if you don't mind waiting for it to dry. I am not a very patient person, so I use tear and tape. Okay, here we go. I'm going to set this down, just centering it in between the two sides, eyeballing it, and I'm going to run it along that first score line. And I am just eyeballing it. It needs to go this way just a little bit. Put that on, and then once again, I'm going to burnish it. So that score line runs along here. And now, see how that just fits? Look at that. It's the right thickness. So it's only 1/8 of an inch, you guys. And then we have this, but let's decorate it. You know, when you're thinking of decorating your gifts for the holidays, you don't always have to use holiday stamps. So for this one, I'm going to use the Elegantly Said. I love the For You font in here. So we are going to use Real Red and just stamp the For You right in the center. Just like, oh, it's not very dark. I need to re-ink my ink pad. So we'll hold it there for just a second longer so that ink absorbs in much better. Okay, then I loved these little scrolls that are along the sides. So we're going to use those to decorate the side of this little tag. Just stamp it. And I'm lining up the edge of the stamp here, this edge right here, to the stitching. That way, both sides should be even when I do this. And they will be in two different directions because we don't have a left and a right of this, but that's okay. The only people that are going to notice that are you and me. Okay, so we have that. And we're going to go ahead and use Stampin' Dimensionals to adhere that. Got a strip, an end left. So we're going to go ahead and use that. Ooh, can you hear the wind howling? So I'm just going to put this on there with the dimensionals. Now, for me, that is enough, but you could add a ribbon. So let's add a ribbon. I think it just needs a little pizzazz, right? So I am going to make, I think, a double bow. Let me get my snips here. Oops. That one around that way. And this one around this way. And then we'll tie it and adhere it. This is when I need another hand or another finger. I don't know why, but when I do double bows, I get confused sometimes. So let me just pull this down and pull this tight because we want it tight. You don't want your bow to come apart. So really pull that and see how those little ears kind of bend. That's awesome. Pull this ribbon apart here. Just like that. And like this. I don't have a glue dot, so I'm going to grab a mini dimensional. See, I keep all my supplies right here, and I have a class tomorrow morning that I had to pack for, and I've already packed for it, not remembering that I have my tool time tonight. well, tools and techniques, right? So we're just going to stick this on here for right now. If I need to get a glue dot later, I can always put that on. So I'm going to attach that right there. And that's just a very simple little gifty, as I call them. And you have those two pockets right in there. This is where I'll put the gift card back here, or I'll probably put the gift card in the front and then put a cookie or fudge in the back. And then give this and have these. But see, isn't this just so cute, just out of a 12 by 12 piece of paper? So let me turn this light back off. There we go. So I hope you enjoyed this tonight and enjoyed learning about those cling adhesives. I think that that's something that you need in your toolbox and another little gifty for the holidays. Until next time, everybody, happy stamping.